Hi guys, Ina here. Today I will show you what's flowering inside my indoor garden and also some updates about my plants. I will do these videos each 2 months now because I realized I may not have many different blooms to show you. So each 2 months I think would be perfect because I can update you about what's going on inside my flat. To start today, I decided to go with my Phalaenopsis. I have a few to show you and tell you what have been happening with them. Because I live in a country that's not extremely hot or warm, and I have dropping temperatures all over the year, all around. So some of my Phalaenopsis start blooming very late after their season, which is quite interesting. So I think I'll have Phalaenopsis bloom until the end of the year. They are definitely doing something very funny and different, but they are beautiful and they last for a long time, which is good since I have some blooms to show you. I will start with my Phalaenopsis Cherris. I may have showed you this one before. In the beginning of the year, it bloomed for me after winter and created a beautiful cascade of blooms. But the weather becomes really warm at some point and I forgot to water this plant. So the blooms faded pretty quickly. What I decided to do is I hydrated the plant and it creates secondary spikes, which people say, oh, they may not look so nice. I decided to keep them because I had a pretty short blooming period before. This plant gave me a wonderful display with their secondary spikes. As you can see here, I have many flowers, which makes me very happy. These flowers, they are fragrant and they are beautifully fragrant. You can find them everywhere in supermarkets here in the UK. The leaves are mottled as well, which adds up to the beauty of this plant. So this is definitely one of my favorite Phalaenopsis, the complex hybrids one. Now I'm showing you one of my Polychilus type hybrids. This one is Phalaenopsis Lyndon mixed zebra. This one produces one flower at a time, at least for now. I have other flower spikes on the way, but each flower spikes will bloom and will produce probably one flower. The flower is pink, and if you look behind the light on the background, you're gonna see some patterns. What I love about this plant is, first of all, it's a compact plant, so the flower spike's not very long and you won't have lots of different flowers, but the flower is short, so fits everywhere, and also the fragrance reminds me of the Bellina, Phalaenopsis Bellina, that is one species, which is amazing. If you have ever smelled that, it's like fruity and floral, and I have sun sensitivity, so this flower, it's amazing for me. I think it can suit everyone and it's a very easy growing one. So I super recommend this plant. If you love Phalaenopsis, this plant, it is definitely one that you should get. The third Phalaenopsis that I'm showing you here today, it's a No ID one. It's another pink. I have a lot of pink Phalaenopsis and I'm sorry, probably is the third one that I see here today that is also pink. But I saved this plant, I think around last year or 2 years ago, I'm not sure anymore. I went to a local supermarket and I found 4 Phalaenopsis. They were all very dehydrated. They were dying and they were in the sales section of the supermarket, and I decided to buy all of them and I saved all of them. I had no idea about the IDs or anything like that. So far they are all different, the 3 that I saw in bloom. The 4th one didn't bloom this year yet, but I'm sure it will bloom next year. So this one is the biggest of all them. I'm not really into big Phalaenopsis. It's not huge, but it's not tiny either or middle. The leaves, they can grow. I can see them. They can grow quite large, but I will keep it because I love plants that I saved. I have some emotional attachment to them. This is one of them, and I love the color. I love the white edge. The thing is, I should have filmed it sooner. It gave me so many flowers, and the display was beautiful. It was not like a perfect cascading, or the light was all over the place, so the flowers were looking everywhere. In a sense of they open each one in a different direction. I have to improve that. But even so, I think was huge and beautiful. This plant was so sad last year, that the fact that they're producing so many blooms, it means that I've done a good job, I think. So it makes so happy. And I really like the shade of plain pink with the white border in this case. It's a common No ID hybrid, but I think it doesn't matter since you love your plant and it rewards you as well. And it's really nice to see them growing and blooming. Yes, so I have 2 more Phalaenopsis before we move on. So the next Phalaenopsis is my Chingrueys gold staff. Again, a complex hybrid. What I like about it is that it has a different color and pattern. Most of the Phalaenopsis that you see around, they are more like pinkish purple. This one, when you look from some distance, you can see like an orange color, because the yellow background with the purple veins gives you the sense of a orange color, which is quite nice. So it has warmer and vibrant colors, which is very different from most of my other Phalaenopsis. That's what I think is it's unique about these flowers. I love it so much. I found it locally in a supermarket, so I didn't buy it online or anything like that. In the UK, they are everywhere. It's quite easy to find them, so I super recommend if you want this one. For me, they are quite easy to grow, and I discovered today that they are also fragrant. They have a kind of a weird fragrance. It's very mild. You have to stick your nose on it and you sniff it and you will feel the fragrance. But if you don't feel anything. But I think what's the most interesting aspect of these plants is the flower, and the fact that the flower is so warm and different compared to many hybrids out there. What I love about them as well is that they are not very big, so they are like a medium-sized type of Phalaenopsis. And as I mentioned, this one was the last one to bloom during this season. So we are in summer here in the UK, and it's just opening its buds. But anyway, I can't deny that I love this flower, so I'm super happy to have it in my living room, and I can see it around and I can show it to my friends and family. It's quite nice. Next one, Phalaenopsis sogo vivien. I have a story about this one. The display is horrible, but I'm showing you anyway. It's just an update. People buy sogo vivien online because of its variegation. I'm gonna be very honest that I prefer mottling or mottled leaves like the Sanderiana and other Phalaenopsis than exactly variegation, but I think it's quite unique. For me, it looks like a snake plant. I'm sorry, but it does when it doesn't have any blooms. I found it locally. I saw people online saying, oh, I found it at one of the supermarkets. And I said, I'm gonna find it in one supermarket. So anyway, I was looking around and someday it was there. So it was very cheap. So if you live in the UK, don't buy it online. Go to the supermarket, you may find one if you can go. If you can't go buy online, obviously. But if you don't have any restriction, and you can definitely go around and check, you save some money. So it's a Phalaenopsis that many people like. It's a hybrid because of its variegation. It's nice. I love the leaves. They are unique compared to most of the Phalaenopsis that I have. The flowers are purple, not very different from most of the Phalaenopsis that you find in supermarkets, but it was attacked by thrips. It has crown rot now, so it's blooming, but the bloom display is not beautiful, anything like that. Anyway, these blooms will fade soon, and hopefully I'll have some cakes as well, because I don't think this plant's happy, but I want to show you. From lasting blooms to everlasting blooms. I have here my Paphiopedilum pinocchio. It's the only Paphiopedilum that I have in bloom at the time. This one, it seems like it never stops blooming. It's a sequential bloomer. One bloom, then the next flower will open and it will fade, and I have more buds coming on the way. It's a very easy to grow Paphiopedilum, and again, you will have blooms forever. It seems like I have it in bloom for the last 2 or 3 months. I think it looks like Phalaenopsis in a sense that never stopped blooming. It's quite nice. So now I can say that I'm blooming it, because since I bought it, all the new sets of blooms they came with me, under my care at my home. I find it so beautiful. I love the color. I love the hairy. you know, in the petals, the pouch that it's purple contrasting with the green. I think it's a great Paphiopedilum for beginners as well. So I want to show you. Now let's go to a different realm. Now we're gonna talk about suitable, on-season-like, and all of the intergenerics actually more than anything else. Don't have any on-season in bloom, by the way, but they are very close. So I'm showing you now my gold beauty. This plant was warming up my living room for a while. It bloomed for 2 months, I think, or almost 2 months. It's a No ID. It has star-shaped flowers. And I think it's a gold yellow. It's like really, really yellowish, if there is such a thing. It had so many blooms, so many flowers. Beautiful plant. I loved it so much. I bought it at a discounted section of one. It's not exactly a garden center, it's a supplier, like gardening supplier that we have here called Home Base. So this plant was dying and I bought it there. Anyway, it rebloomed with me and look at these blooms. I was so happy with the result. The only thing that I don't like about these plants is the fragrance. If they are not sitting very close to you, if you have scent sensitivity, it's great. They need to be a little bit far from me because they have a brassica fragrance, like this spicy fragrance. I don't know, I don't like it at all, but I love the color. I love the star-shaped flowers. I think it has brassica in its parent, so I don't know, I love this plant so much. Talking about brassica, so I'm showing you now the star of this month, in my opinion. That's my Bretonia Shiloptoking that has 75% of brassica in its DNA. I have a whole video talking about it, talking about brassica care and talking about this plant. I'll link you the video down below. It gave me 4 flower spikes. I have 3 in blooms at the moment and 1 more to come. The flowers are big, guys, for the number of flowers that this plant produces. I was waiting this plant to rebloom for me for 2 years, but I wasn't providing the right light. When I discovered what to do with it, oh my gosh, that's the result. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Next, I have here ready on Season intergenerics. If you know the ID or something very close to it, let me know down below. I have this one, was the second like intergeneric that I bought. I bought first the Bretonia Shiloptoking and then I bought this one. But this one is a reliable bloomer. It bloomed for me last year. It produced many blooms and it rebloomed this year. The thing is, I had to repot it because it wasn't a very old median, and so I repotted. So it's still recouping from everything from changing the median and like stressing the roots. But even so, it bloomed, as you can see, but it wasn't the most amazing display. But what I like about this plant is because they are red and that they are like that dark tone of red, like velvety, I don't know. And the flowers are not large, they are small, but usually these plants produce many flowers. And it's one of my, it's not small, it's not like a twinkle, but it's not a very tall intergeneric and has a sentimental, emotional value for me because I bought it was the second different type of orchid that I bought in my life, and I bought it while I was traveling to France. I was traveling with my family during COVID and everything, so really nice to have this plant, and it's still alive. So hey, for someone that didn't have experience in 2020, I have much more experience now. The plant is still there, so I'm very happy. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the red flowers. And to conclude this video, I have here something that I'm very proud and I'm very happy with this plant. My Miltoniopsis got attacked by thrips. I will let the video links down below as well. So they were the most affected plant in my collection. The insects were munching on them, destroyed their leaves. They were suffering a lot. and I treated them and everything, and I may lose one of them that it's not hanging there. But this one not only managed to survive, but also it produced a flower spike that died because the pests were eating and munching the flower spike. But then when I treated, it produced another one, and it's blooming. And I think the blooms are not like the most spectacular, but they are still beautiful. And you can see I don't have any thrips damage on the flowers. Hey, which means that I probably killed almost all of them, which makes me so happy because they destroyed my Miltoniopsis. And just, if you're curious about Miltoniopsis, is definitely one of my favorite type of orchids. They are perfect for people that live in an environment that's similar to London. They love cool and humid places that everybody probably imagined. So they do pretty well with me and my climate. And I love them. I love them. I think they are beautiful. The flowers are large. They smell beautifully. So they are definitely one of my favorite type of orchids. I love Miltoniopsis so much. And again, to conclude this video, I want to show you some of the things that I have that will probably bloom next month. So I have my Miltonia samsat that is full of buds. I had some flowers that opened, but the wind threw my plants on the floor. It broke the flower spike. Pretty sad, but now I have 2 more flower spikes coming. So I'll have some Miltonia sunset flowers soon, and I love it so much. Also, I have a red oncidium. The flowers has the same star shape of the yellow one that I showed you, but they are bright red flower, so it's full of buds. And I think that's the plants that I'm expecting to bloom soon. I have some other intergenerics that will still bloom during summertime. But yes, this is what I wanna show you, that's what I tell you. I hope you have enjoyed hanging with me and seeing these beautiful blooms around. Let me know which type of orchids it's your favorite, which one you would like to buy, or which one is your favorite on this video. For me, to be very, very honest, in these last 2 months, I have 2 favorites. I have the yellow one, the one that I told you has some brassy in its parents, and my Bratonia Shallot token. Oh my gosh. I didn't expect these plants to be so beautiful. I didn't expect them to love them so much. So I'm so happy with the results that I got from these plants, especially offering all the treatment that I offered. And I think I got the right care, which makes me a very proud orchid mom, if there is such a thing. Anyway, thank you very much for hanging out with me. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It helps me a lot, a lot, a lot. And thank you very much, guys. I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.